Hey everyone, we're so excited to welcome you to the Spring 22's Cohort Fellowship Demo Day. This is such an exciting occasion for the entire Marcy Lab School community. And as always, it's a pleasure for us to be able to welcome you into our walls, our virtual walls here. My name is Ruben Agvana, the co-founder and executive director of the Marcy Lab School. My family comes from Nigeria and Louisiana on my mom's side. I was born and raised in Raleigh, North Carolina, and have called Brooklyn home for the past 8 years.
Hi, everyone. It's always such a pleasure to be with so many of you again. And for the new faces, it's so nice to meet you. So excited to be celebrating our first winter demo day with all of you for our first spring cohort. And can't wait for you to hear about these projects. My name is Maya Bhattacharjee. My family is originally from India, and I grew up in a combination of Iowa and Harlem. I'm Chief Program Officer here at the Marcy Lab School and Ruben's co-founder.
Awesome.
So as we dive in, I know that there's going to be a lot of love that you are going to want to share with your fellows and with our team on the chat. We're going to get that chat disabled so you can chime in as well.
Awesome. I know we have a ton of old faces in the room, people who've been with us since 2019. And it's always a pleasure to have you join us for each and every moment we bring our community together. I also see a ton of new faces in the room too. And so I'm excited to tell you a bit about the Marcy Lab School, why we came to be and the mission that we're on, and how our incredible fellows and the staff members that are on this call play a big part in it. The Civic Tech Hackathon Demo Day is a pivotal moment in the course of a fellow's year-long journey here at the Marcy Lab School. They're 3/4 of the way through their full Marcy Lab School experience. And we challenge them to take everything that they've learned in their technical curriculum and their leadership development curriculum. And in the course of 3 short weeks, build a real product that a real person can use that will solve a real problem in the real world. This is a manifestation of a dream that started with me and Maya in 2018. Back when these photos were taken, we were middle school and high school teachers in Brooklyn. And education has been our passion and our profession ever since we graduated from college. And in particular, we worked at the types of schools and organizations that had one singular focus, and that was to ensure that all of our students graduated from high school and went off to college. It was a thing that we took a ton of pride in, and we still do. But there was also a bit of hesitation every single year around this time when our students would get into college, and then many of them would have to make the decision to take out a ton of student loan debt to pursue that dream. Oftentimes, students who didn't want to take out student loans to attend very expensive schools went to lower cost options that didn't always have the resources that they needed to serve them really, really well. We simply thought that was unfair. The mission of the Marcy Lab School is to create a better version of college for young adults who have a ton of potential but may not benefit from what the best of higher education has to offer in this country. Next slide, Austin. We've started to see the long-term, large systemic effects of the student loan debt crisis and how it's disproportionately impacting Black and Brown students. And we believe that the Marcy Lab School can be a model of another way.
Our mission is really simple and it drives us every single day. But as simple as it sounds, it's incredibly bold. Our mission is to create economic mobility for every single young person that walks into Marcy Lab School. The Marcy Lab School's goal is simply to create financial freedom for all of the young people who start our program. And everything that we do throughout our program is in service of setting them up for incredible life-changing careers where they can bring their entire skill sets that they've learned at Marcy Lab School and all of the values and incredible life experiences that have shaped them into who they are, to open doors for them to be able to create lives of their own for themselves and for their families and for their communities, with financial freedom being the end goal. And we do that through our program. Our Software Engineering Fellowship, is our first Marcy Lab School program that we started with, where our fellows are being trained as incredible software engineers. You're going to see a series of pictures that capture the work that they're doing in their technical curriculum and in their leadership and development curriculum on the next few slides. But as you can see, the Marcy Lab School is so much more than learning how to code. Our fellows simultaneously are learning how to be incredible incredible young professionals. They're grappling with texts like algorithms of oppression and having conversations about race and identity and what it looks like for Black and Brown people to occupy the spaces that they're walking into. They read rigorous texts and dive into discussions that they lead and support each other with in their leadership seminar, led by their incredible program managers. And most of all, they work incredibly, incredibly hard. Throughout 1 year at Marcy Lab School, 12 months, they're steeped in thousands of hours of computer science fundamentals and our software engineering curriculum led by our technical instructors. I think what makes Marcy Lab so special, though, is that this entire program is actually held together by a whole lot of love and community for one another, for our families, for our stories, and from the places we come from and what we do. I think every single fellow will say that what makes Marcy Lab special is not necessarily the code that they've learned how to write or the text that they've read, but just that they've all done it together. At Marcy Lab School, at every single moment, our fellows are just supporting one another towards this audacious goal, whether it's birthday celebrations or trips to rock climb. Like any college experience, we want Marcy Lab School to be a ton of fun. Today, we're so excited to be celebrating our inaugural winter demo day with our very first spring cohort. Previous fellowships or demo days that you've attended have happened in the summertime because they would be going from September to September. This is our first cohort that is running from March to March. And these fellows and the lead instructor, program manager, and associate instructor here on the screen were our pioneers in our very first spring cohort. We're so incredibly inspired by this group who have called themselves Sankofa since the beginning of the year. Sankofa means quest for knowledge. And every single one of these young fellows have been on a quest for knowledge and so much more throughout this year. And they've just inspired us in new ways and have taken Marcy Lab School to the next level.
Awesome. And these incredible young people that you'll hear from today are the latest in a lineage of Marcy Lab School Fellows that dates back to September of 2019, when we piloted this model with 9 incredible fellows that got interrupted halfway through the COVID-19 pandemic, but continued to show up day after day on Zoom classrooms. To 2 teachers, Ruben and Maya, who never worked in tech a day in their lives, but still for some reason believed in us. And at the end of the year, landed incredible jobs in the tech sector. We grew to 30 fellows in the second year. We served 50 fellows this year that just finished, and we'll serve about 100 fellows over the course of 2 different start dates this year. And what makes us most proud is that the folks who have come through our doors have gone off to work at incredible companies, making a real impact in the world, earning money that allows them to completely change theirs and their families' lives. Our graduates are earning an average of over $100,000 per year, writing software from some of the most incredible and impactful companies in the world. We're grateful to be partnered with companies like Asana and Squarespace and the New York Times and JP Morgan and WW, and mission-driven startups and nonprofits like Embevy and Time Care, and the many folks here on the call that have supported the Marcy Lab School and have brought on graduates into their engineering organizations and have thus seen their organizations improve. And we hope that there are other people that are on this call today that will want to learn more about what it takes to partner with the Marcy Lab School.
And before we dive into Travis's section team, I just want to remind all of you that in this virtual celebration, our fellows and our team have poured so much into this demo day. I want to invite all of you to participate in the chat box to lift up our teammates and our fellows while we're apart, but still together.
Thank you, Maya. Hey, everybody. It is so good to see familiar faces and new faces in the crowd today. And thanks for taking time out of your Friday to celebrate with us today. I have the pleasure at Marcy is serving as the head of strategic partnerships. So I work with all of our hiring partners and kind of corporate outcomes for our fellows as they kick off their career journey. And as you saw on the previous slide that Ruben mentioned, we've been really lucky and fortunate to work with incredible, innovative companies over the past few years that have taken a bet on these fellows to come in and to drive value, to build products, to be great teammates. And that bet has paid off. Every single fellow that we have graduate and go to one of our partner companies makes an immediate impact and has done a fantastic job growing and retaining in those roles. This year and today, you'll hear from some of these incredible individuals in the Sankofa group. And I think what you'll see be evident very quickly is that not only are they amazing individually, but they're incredible teammates. They lift each other up, they support, they collaborate, they communicate, and they build real products that make a real impact. And so if you're interested, anyone in the audience today, in referring a student to a job at your company, if you're interested in setting up a hiring partnership, we'll be working with different recruiting teams all through the spring of 2023 to find the right places for these amazing fellows. We had our first job offers go out this week to the group. So I think they'll be going pretty fast over the next few months, but we'll pass on some information at the end today about how to get in touch. And with that, I'll turn it over to the Spring 22 Fellowship team to introduce themselves. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I have the pleasure of introducing not only just the people I've been working with and people who have been like a team for me, but also friends and also like really just a strong group of people that have helped us in leading the Spring 22 cohort. I would first like to start by introducing the team. I'm introducing myself. My name is Caston Boyd. I was the lead instructor for the Spring 22 cohort. My job was to lead the full stack development part of our curriculum.
Hi, Marcy family. I'm Ana Reyes, program manager of our Spring 22 cohort. Born in Mexico and raised in Texas, I had the honor to lead leadership seminar with our students. Reading about systems of power and exploring our identities. I partnered with fellows to foster their leadership skills so that they're ready to join these companies, help them build career artifacts, and served as a pillar of culture in our community. Thank you so much for joining us today on their demo day.
Hi all, my name is Joel Rosario. I'm the associate instructor for our Spring 22 cohort, Sankofa. I had the pleasure of being able to instruct our fellows on data structures and algorithms. And I was born in Washington Heights, and my family's from Dominican Republic.
This group, this entire cohort that we're going to be presenting today has worked extremely hard for the past 3 weeks to develop full stack applications to present to you all. This group is an amazing group. Not only that, they're extremely hardworking, and you're going to see the passion that was filled in these projects. A lot of these projects were just passionate projects that people just constantly couldn't stop talking about, ways of saving our communities and protecting our communities. So I'm excited to introduce the first group that's going to be presenting today, Homeful.
Hello, my name is Nye Lambright. My mom is from DR and my dad is African American. I was born in America and live in New York City. I served as the project owner and developer for Homeful. Homeful combats the homeless crisis in New York by providing access to shelters and rooms to homeless people through a shelter find and reserve application to improve the user's quality of life. This application is very important to me personally because I myself used to live in shelters with my mom when I was a kid. If my mom could see all of her options when it came to the shelters near her and their conditions, I know this would have helped her find a safe and clean shelter much faster. The conditions of shelters and the lack of information on availability is the main reason homeless people can't find a good shelter to stay at. Homeful helps combat that by giving users a place to reserve shelters and find out more information about shelters near them. Some of the people who helped develop Homeful are Anika Nanton, Samara Khan, and Celine Ewens. Some of the technologies we used to make Homeful was React for the front end, and for the back end, we use Node.js and Express to make RESTful APIs and routes that we read with our PostgreSQL database. We were able to migrate and see our database using next.js. While making Homeful, the challenge I had was getting the search bar to search through both the rooms and shelter tables. There are many ways I could have done it. So I decided that I was going to make 2 different routes to get data on the shelters and rooms separately. And in turn, they get fetched and rendered at the same time. As you can see here, depending on the input the user gives in the search bar, it makes 2 different fetch calls to search through the rooms and shelters and then renders them both at the same time.
Hi guys, my name is Anika Nanton. I am originally from Antigua and my mom is from Jamaica and my dad's from St. Vincent. I serve as a Scrum Master and developer for Homeful. The challenge I encountered was ensuring users had as much information as possible to make an informed decision about what room or shelter works best for them. The solution to that was utilizing a React hook, which was used to retrieve the profile information when a room or shelter was clicked. The impact of that was the users were able to now have information for what room or shelter that they clicked on. So you guys can see here, this was the feeds page. These are the shelters and rooms. So each post is clickable. And while using the React params, I was able to capture each information to display on the profile page.
Hello, everyone. My name is Samira Khan, and my family is from Pakistan, but I currently reside in Brooklyn. I acted as a developer on Homeful, and one of the challenges that I ran into was trying to create a smooth user flow to mimic the experience of filling out a form. Now, the solution to my problem was using React hooks to manipulate client-side rendering. So what that means is I used the React hook use navigate. And what this allowed is for when the user completed their form to allow the URL to change as well as the content on the screen. And what this enabled for the user is to create a smooth, intuitive experience and an interface that made users feel like they were actively taking a form and that was impacting the results that they were seeing. And as you can see in the image below, the user would fill out their form and use navigate would navigate them to the necessary screens.
Hello again, everyone. My name is Celine Nuance. I was one of the developers for Homeful. My family is from Port-au-Prince, Haiti, but I currently reside in Canarsie, Brooklyn. The challenge that I faced for Homeful was I was trying to access specific user information without making a series of unnecessary fetch calls to the backend. The solution for that was being able to utilize local storage from a web API to get the specific information from the user in the browser. And in the end, the impact was our group was able to make displaying user profile information faster and more fluid without as much lines of code. As you can see, in the before where we were making a fetch call to the backend, you can see that the user first attempts to sign in, then they have to communicate, that communicates with the server that's going to collect that data and communicate with the database. And then after all of that is done, it has to return so all that information so that we can see the endpoint of hello CC1 right over here. When you go to the after where I was able to use the local storage instead, we first have the user sign in, similar to the before, but instead the local storage saves that information that we get from the user, and we're able to pull that information and we can get the same results of hello CC1 without as many steps. And now we will showcase a video of our demo.
Hello, and this is Homeful. Here we can sign up. I'm going to sign up for myself, make myself an account, giving my name, my last name, a username for myself. my sex, and a password. Signing up and now logging in. Now we're at the feeds page. Here we can see all of the shelters in Brooklyn. Clicking on a shelter, we can get the information on the shelter's name, address, phone number, and category. Also, since I'm a female, I would be looking for shelters that are women. And here we can choose the category for women, category for men, category for female, and for families. And we can also search for shelters if we know their name. So I know there's a shelter in Park Slope, Magnolia House, and among many others. We can also add accommodations so that if we wanted to make our own shelters, we can add it here. We can also inform the developers of any shelters that they might be missing. Also, if I wanted to reserve a shelter, I would click a date that I wanted and how long I wanted to stay. I'd click reserve. I'd give them my name, my sex, and I would tell them any information about myself that I would think would be important for the shelter to know about me. Right now I don't have any, so I would just say none. I'd click book, and we can also view any reservations that we've made by going to our profile. I've already reserved 2 other shelters for the summer, and this is Homeful. Thank you.
This concludes the representation for Homeful. Thank you, everyone.
Up next, I now have the pleasure of presenting Disposing Rome.
Hi, my name is Emma Liu. My family is from China. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York my entire life. I am the project manager and developer for the Disposing Realm. My team consists of Christopher Lopez and Daryl Reyes. The Disposing Realm offers Brooklynites a way to clean up street litter by participating in a play system. It incentivizes them to be active in the beautification of the Brooklyn's neighborhoods. We aim to shift mindsets away from duty and towards a way of uniting our Brooklyn communities. It is crucial that all Brooklynites feel proud of their neighborhoods and empowered by where they come from. Here are all the technologies used to build our project, Disposing Realm. The following technologies we use are React, CSS, and JS. We use Cloudinary to store images in the cloud and link it to a database. Furthermore, the background technologies we use are Node.js, Express, and Next.js. JWT and Bicrypt were used to provide user security by hashing passwords. Lastly, our database management system is PSQL. A challenge for me was really to ensure liking, posting, and commenting are really fluid and quick for users. Then, my solution was utilizing the React hooked use context, which helped in giving global access to data across all components in the application. The impact was now the feeds page offers seamless posting, commenting, and image uploading. Now, as you can see on the screen, use context allows us to store most of the data that we use throughout our app. An example is if we were to go to the main screen with all the posts, we can retrieve all the data related to the posts from user context, which also includes images and comments.
Hello, everybody. My name is Christopher Lopez. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, and my family is from Mexico. I served as Scrum Master and developer for Disposing Realm. One of the problems I faced was that I was unable to upload images to our database. Initially, I used the post request to send the user's uploaded files to our database, but the file was too large to be sent. Instead, I had to first send the files to Cloudinary, which is a cloud service. Cloudinary will then return a secure URL of the files it received, which can then be stored into our database. Now, we're able to store all images that users upload while also maintaining image quality. This is a diagram showing my solution and what's happening behind the scenes. When the user uploads images from the browser, it is first sent to Cloudinary. Cloudinary returns a secure URL of the images that were sent, which can then be stored in our database.
Hello, everyone. My name is Delvin Reyes. My family is from Honduras. I grew up in California, and I currently live in Brownsville, Brooklyn, New York. And I served as a developer for Disposing Realm. One of the challenges I faced was placing functionality in the program for users to be able to register and for their registration data to be stored in the database. The solution for this is I program an algorithm that utilizes Use Navigate React Code to properly direct users to the login page and fetches data from the database. The impact from this, users can now register and log in fluidly. Now, we begin with the register page that allow a user to register. However, there were complications because the register button on the app was not directing to the login page. After overlooking my code, I noticed there were no endpoint that allowed the navigation until I added the login endpoint that successfully made the user register page navigational. And now we will showcase a video of our demo.
Let's get started. When users are introduced to our site, they'll see posts, comments, and likes of other people in the community participating in cleaning the streets of Brooklyn. In order for users to join, they must sign up, log in, and start posting. So let's register for a new account for one of our developers, Evan Liu. Then username, Elu. Hotmail.com. Very important. Remember your email and password. Very important. Okay. Now, we're taken back to the home page. Every post must have two images, a before and after image. I'm going to post right here. Cleaning streets of Brooklyn. Beautiful. This allows users to share and be proud of their efforts to clean up their community. Now, let's view others' posts in the feed. There's a username, Chris00 and Delvin123, who clean the streets. He sound handsome. Let's give them a like and comment on their posts to show our support. Good job, King. Good job, King. Nice. There you go. Thank you, guys. And that is Disposing Realm.
Thank you. Thank you to all you beautiful souls. That concludes our video demo for Disposing Realm.
Next up, I have the pleasure of introducing the next group, which is Giveaway.
Hi, everyone. My name is Farouk Katapal. My family and I are from Togo, West Africa. I was the project manager for Giveaway, and I join you today with Mark Giddens and Alder Garcia to present to you Giveaway. Giveaway connects philanthropy and community activism by providing streamlined communication service for food distribution programs housed in religious institutions to decrease food insecurity within New York City's underserved communities. COVID tremendously impacted the demand of food in the past few years. In response to this crisis, we created a giveaway. Walking around NYC, we noticed long lines of religious institutions were giving away food and other necessities. We felt really motivated and inspired by their act of charity and wanted to create a platform that would make it easy, accessible to expand the reach of community and mutual aid. So some of the technologies that we use for our front end, we use React, CSS, Emotion.js for styling. For our back end, we use Node.js, Express.js, Decrypt for authentication, Next.js for migration, and Postgres for our database. One of the challenges that I encountered was ensuring all users that store data by our application is private and protected. We learned that storing passwords in plain text is probably not the best idea and must never be an option. Solution was I had to implement authentication using Decrypt, which hashes salt passwords for safe storage in our database. The impact, we were able to provide an extra layer of security along with ensuring protection of our users' personal data. So with this diagram, you see when users create an account, they send us your username, password, etc. We'll take that and store it into our database. But for the password, we do an extra process, which is hashing it. And that's what that is right now. So we will hash the password and we will save that hash password to our database. This is how we keep passwords and information safe and private.
Hello, everybody. I am Alder Garcia Angon. I was born in Oaxaca, Mexico, and raised in Brooklyn, and my family's from Mexico. I was the Scrum Master and one of the developers for Giveaway. A challenge I ran up to while creating this project was handling data seamlessly across different components using props. The problem with this was that we were passing a lot of props through our components, and we would tend to lose track of them. The solution to this problem was using use context React hooks. With use context, I was able to have a global state for data that would be used throughout the page. The impact was that we used less props for entering data. We were able to keep track of our data, and users were able to access their data much more quicker. As you can see, I declared my state in my main component and had to pass them through other components to reach my target in the bottom. So in the main had all the data and had to reach the bottom, and the data had to go through the components to reach the target. The solution to this was to use context, which stores all the data at once and directly sends it to the file I wanted to.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Mark Giddings. My family is from Georgetown, Guyana, and I reside here in Brooklyn, New York. I was a developer on the team on Giveaway, and I focused on the front end and the user UI, UX of Giveaway. The challenge was developing an application flow that increases business user engagement with our churches. The solution was implementing a component that allows users to engage with a specific church and decide on how to engage or what to contribute. The impact was providing users the ability to view a church of their choice and make decisions on what they'd like to donate. So here's a diagram of the user flow for what happens when a user clicks the donate button on our application. As you see, the user clicks on donate, and that donate button creates a fetch to the database filled with churches. After that fetch is made, that data gets sent back to the user and then renders the specific church profile that was clicked. Here on the right, we could see now we can see the church name, the image, the address, as well as a few options of when to donate, what type of donation you'll be making, as well as the description of what you're donating. And now we will demo our application. And in the spirit of the upcoming holidays, what better way to spread joy than having Santa donate to the local churches? Hey guys, my name is Mark Giddings, and I'm here to demonstrate giveaway. Here we're at our homepage, which is our home, donate, about, and sign out. And for the sake of time, I'll already be signed in. So let's check out our about page. Nice. So here we show what we do, why we do this, and what's our goal. For the sake of time as well, I won't read this to you. So let's just jump right on into our churches. Awesome. So here we have a list of our churches and at the main front of our application, and we could check out Victory Outreach Brooklyn. That seems nice. We have select date of donation, type of donation, and a description of the donation. So let's go ahead and jump right on into that. I like to move quick, so I'm going to jump in and say I want to donate at 8 a.m. on the dot, just to get that in nice and early. Select the type of donation. It's pretty cold out, so I think I want to donate some more clothes. And I'm going to say I'm going to donate, let's say 5 scarves, 8 gloves, as well as maybe 10 winter coats. Awesome. So now we're going to go ahead and click submit. Nice. So here we see our ticket on the right-hand side under my donations. We see the time of donation, the church we're donating to, and what we're donating, and also the type. So let's pretend for the sake of time that tomorrow is now, which is 8 a.m. We're going to go ahead and check that off and feel very proud and happy that we donated. And underneath here, we could check our history of what we've donated in the past. We've donated lots of coats, lots of scarves, even some money. And here we can see the ticket that we just created, which is to Victory Outreach Brooklyn. And with that being said, guys, that's been giveaway. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. And that concludes our demo, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, everyone. Every year, we choose a fellow to share their empowered story with us. This fellow embodies our pillars and values here at the Marcy Lab School: bold determination, tough love, collective responsibility, curious ingenuity, and unwavering discipline. Our Spring 22 cohort spotlight is shining on one of our 4 women of our Sankofa cohort, Anika Nanton.
Good afternoon, Marcy family. I am Anika Nanton, and I'm honored to share my story and journey with you guys today. I was born in Antigua, and I spent a few years of my life living in St. Vincent, where my dad's side of my family hails from. When I was 10 years old, my mom left Antigua to come to America to, create a better life for her family, just like what most Caribbean moms do in my community. From 10 to 17, I traveled back and forth to Antigua and St. Vincent, where I graduated high school. And also in 2017, I completed a 6-month marketing program at Antigua State College. 2017 was also the year I reunited with my mother in the US after 7 years. While I had to continue my studies in marketing, A shift in personal circumstances resulted in a change of direction. I started working at a startup company in a role of marketing. But ultimately, I decided that marketing was not the path for me, and that because it was too focused on sales. In COVID, while COVID was going on, and in New York City and rampage and like everything was happening, I was working in retail, and I knew I had to decide like what I was going to do next in my life so I can like alter the life that I really wanted for myself. One day while I was at work, and Hyacinth, alum of Marcy, told me about an alternative to college, a fellowship program that will propel students like myself to become software engineers. I was intrigued. I sourced Marcy website for the information and came across words like rigorous, problem solving, and coaching. I saw the opportunity and empowerment to mold the life that's worthy of me. In the beginning of Marcy, I was plagued with imposter syndrome, but Marcy became family and support, my family and support system. In class, I didn't hesitate to ask questions to my peers. Like, even if I didn't understand, I will ask the question again and they always show up for me. It was clear to me that I had to fulfill my commitment to Marcy. If I wanted to get the most out of this program, working fewer hours at my work and becoming hyper-focused with my coding, it really helps me like on the path that I am today. Sometimes we would stay late after school, really late times, but to get projects done because like we were perfectionists. And I just knew like people who going through these same feelings and emotions that I am, but still will always push me to be the best of myself. I just knew I had to show up. And for that, I would have to say thank you, Marcy. Thank you, Sankofa. Over the last 11 months at Marcy School has been transformative. I've been challenged to develop like full stack applications and games. I've been pushed to meet and exceed my bar of excellence for myself while writing assignments and my habits and the ways I show up for myself. I've explored the depths of my identity and experience and humanity. And I've risen a leader of developing, being a product owner, a scrum master, just overall just showing up, being a leader. Today, I speak before you as a young software engineer, full of gratitude and excitement as I see the fruits of my labor are now flourishing. As of this Wednesday, I have an offer at the WW team, and I'm excited for the blessings to come and everything that comes my way. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Anika. I appreciate you sharing your amazing story, and I'm so proud of how far you've come and what you've accomplished. Now we're going to move into our last two groups. Next, I'm proud to present our next group, TechView.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Wayne March. I was born and raised in Jamaica, but I've been living in Brooklyn, New York for the past 4 years. I am the product manager and developer for TechView. My team here today are Emmanuel Ruiz, Crispy Copinos, and Aaron Minaya. As young Black, Brown, Indigenous people of color entering the tech workforce, we found the need for safe spaces where we can learn, ask interview questions, and find community with people that look like us, and also came from the communities that we did. So this is why we created TechView. TechView empowers young adults to enter the tech industry for the first time by creating community spaces where users can grow and learn and feel a sense of community. TechView is built on a number of technologies, which include React and Material UI for the front end. Backend technologies include Node.js, Express.js, and Next.js. Additionally, we utilize bcrypt and JWT to hash passwords and provide authentication to our users. And lastly, but most importantly, our database, PSQL, for storing user data. As the product manager and developer in TechView, I faced a number of obstacles. But the biggest obstacle that I faced was restricting unauthorized users from accessing routes that were only available to authorized users. So I came up with a solution. So I implemented a middleware to check a user's login status. If the user wasn't logged in or if they weren't signed up, then they would be
directed to our login or sign up page. This way that when any unauthorized users hit endpoints that were made for authorized users, they were not able to view the contents. The impact of this was that users would be more inclined to register for the full functionality and experience of our application, and also be able to participate safely and fully in the community. As you can see on the left, users input a password during the sign up or login process, which becomes hashed before being checked or stored in our database. As you can see on the right, whenever a user tries to access the homepage of our application, the auth checker makes sure that the user has been validated. If they are validated, they will be able to see the contents of the homepage, or if not, they will be redirected to the sign up page or the login page.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Emmanuel Ruiz. My family hails from Mexico, but I am currently living in Brooklyn, New York. I was the Scrum Master and developer for TechView. And the challenge that I came across when developing for TechView was that I was attempting to create a backend request that would retrieve comments for any given post without using a request body to alleviate the work for my front-end developers. So the solution I found was to communicate with my front-end developers to include a hidden element within every post. This would allow for the front-end developers to hold the most important value needed for retrieving comments, which was the unique post ID number. So the impact of this was that this allowed for comments to be retrieved as intended without any fear of retrieving comments of a different post. And as you can see in the code snippet, there is a lot of data that was needed to retrieve just the post ID alone. There are 2 request bodies, properties that would be needed from the front end, a separate data call to the back end, and ultimately, this would give us the post ID, which is what we could finally use to make our final fetch to retrieve our comments. Being that it was hidden and embedded within our HTML code, this was a lot better than what we have here, which was making up for the fact that we didn't have access to the code.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aaron Minaya. My family's from the Dominican Republic, and I'm a software developer for TechView. My challenge was creating a password authentication system. The success of this implementation is crucial. If a black hat manages to access information from a database request, they could easily violate user credentials. My solution, creating 2 database queries that would search based on the user's email and attempt to minimize password exposure. The impact, users now successfully log into the application without exposing their password. Here's a diagram of how the authentication script works. First, the script queries the database to see if the email exists in the database. If it does, the script grabs the user's password from the database, represents it as a black key, and checks if the password on the front end. If it does, the user will be able to log in.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christopher Pico-Pinos. I'm one of the developers that contribute in the creation of TechView. I was born in New York, but I was raised in Ecuador, and now I currently reside in Queens. So yeah, one of the challenges that I faced was creating a seamless navigation functionality within the user interface. Way to solve this was probably utilizing the React router node module to manage multiple views and using the use navigate hook in order to switch between those views from page to page. The impact was being able to have navigation among the views of various pages and allows changing the browser URL while keeping the UI in sync. As you can see in my humble diagram, you will see that routers will probably act as a middleman that allow you to navigate from a homepage to a login or login to a homepage or the post feed. And yeah, now we'll be presenting to you a demo of TechView. Hope you enjoy it.
Good afternoon. My name is Emmanuel Ruiz, one of the developers for TechView, and I will be leading you through this demo. So here we are on the main homepage where our users will first be greeted upon their arrival to our page. We can go ahead and sign up, and so we can create a random username, give an email, and a password. This will allow us to log in. So now that we're here, and my email and password, and there we go. Now, before going to any other posts, I do want to go ahead and make my own. So during the technical interviews, I find that I do get stuck mid-question sometimes, and that can be very nerve-wracking. Whenever I get stuck, I don't know what is the best thing to do. Should I just keep brute forcing my way through a problem? I feel a little dumb asking for help. Thanks. So I will go ahead and post that. And now we'll see if anyone responds later on. But if we look at some other posts, okay, behavioral is not my strong suit. So sadly, I don't think I want to contribute to this. But this lead code 75 question. So selling a stock to make the most profit. This is a question I used to struggle with a lot. So, okay, they're checking the lowest value. Okay, let's see what other people are saying about this. So I was able to solve this using a sliding window technique. That feels a little overkill for this type of question. Let me go ahead and say something. Hey, I think you are on the right track. While tracking the lowest value, don't forget to also track the largest profit at the same time. Hope this doesn't give it away. Best of luck. And let's hope that that comment can be of use to them. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so that will conclude the demo for tech. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My
Thank you, TechView. Now our last group to present and show off their amazing work is Menti.
Hello, everyone. This is Menti. Menti is a social media application that builds a diverse community where non-traditional learners can receive mentorship from tech professionals through communication and collaboration to build a more diverse industry by shortening the margin of non-traditional backgrounds. Menti was built by me and my partner, Jos Maluuncheri, and the idea came when I realized how important my mentor was on this journey to becoming a software engineer. He's actually here today. Shout out Gandalf. Gandalf helped me so much through interview prep and helping me become a better problem solver. We used a lot of technologies to build Menti. So I'm not going to go into detail with all of them, but we used React, React Router DOM, Node.js, Express.js, NPM, Socket.io, WebRTC, JWT, PostgreSQL, Material UI, and Git. Hello, everyone. My name is Shadman Chowdhury, and I served as the product manager and a developer for Menti. My main challenge was implementing an in-house video chat feature into our application. The solution for this was utilizing WebRTC and Socket.io to achieve seamless multimedia connection between users. And the main impact of this, which I kind of like tackled in my last projects, was in my previous projects, we built a productivity app, but in order to video chat, it would take you to a Google Hangouts. We wanted to completely delete the third party. So we implemented our own in-house video chat just so you can speak seamlessly between users. This is a diagram of how Socket.io and WebRTC work in tandem in order to speak to each other. Socket.io connects to the Socket server, while WebRTC simultaneously sends audio and video to the server, which is received by user number 2.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joe, and I served as a developer and Scrum Master for Menti. While working on the project, one of the challenges I faced was incorporating a secure chat feature into our application. And the solution to this was using Socket.io framework to build real-time chat into the application and JWT for authorization to secure user connections. And the impact of this was the users can have a real-time communication just like any modern chat application. So in a typical HTTP or fetch request, you send a request to a server and wait for a response. But we realized that this isn't ideal when it comes to messaging, because when you send hundreds of thousands of messages, that means it's hundreds of thousands of fetch requests. Socket.io allowed us to send one fetch request and create an open connection between the Socket.io client and the Socket.io server. This allowed our users to send and receive messages in real time without having to constantly refresh their screen. And now it's time for our demo.
This is Menti. Upon first entering the page, you're greeted with 2 options: become a mentee or become a mentor. Let's become a mentee. Let's make an account for Mario, last name Luigi, enter an email, a username, and a password. From here, you can select all the languages you know. Mario knows JavaScript, C#, and Ruby. Let's register him. From here, you can make an avatar. Let's give him some short round hair, a fancy mustache, some overalls, and let's make him red. All right, looks good. For demonstration purposes, I'll log into my own account. All right, there you go. Upon first entering the page, you're greeted with all of these cards for mentors and mentees. Let's match with a few of them. Let's send an invite to Travis. Okay, Anna looks cool. Looks like she's a passionate programmer from New York. Awesome. Let's send her an invite too. Let's also look at the mentee accounts. Let's send an invite to Aldair and Anaya. You can also look at all the friends that you have from here and accept any incoming friend requests. Looks like I don't have any at the moment. From here, you can also message people. Oh, looks like Carmen's already here. Let's meet her at Central Park. And updates in real time. You can also video chat. Thank you, everyone. This is Menti.
And that concludes our demo. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
This is Menti.
Awesome. Could we have another big virtual round of applause celebration in the chat for these incredible Spring 22 Sankofa Fellows? Awesome. And greatly appreciate you all in the audience who've taken some time to go a few minutes over with us, just closing out now. I wanted to share with you all just how proud we are of these fellows and the team that supported them all year round. And their journey isn't over yet. They still have 3 additional months left in their Marcy Lab school experience, where they'll be taking place in either a practicum, contributing to products on real engineering teams at our partner companies, or completing a capstone studying advanced topics, and building out their final capstone project for their Marcy Lab School experience. And we want you to stay involved. Next slide, please, Cass. If you are a potential mentor, a hiring partner, or connected to one, we want you to know that you can support our fellows as they enter this very important last quarter of their fellowship by helping to host a mock interview. These can be technical or non-technical mock interviews. We love having guest speakers come in and share about their work, their company cultures, their engineering teams, again, technical and non-technical professionals make for incredible guest speakers and support our Marcy Lab School educational experience. If you would like to learn more about what it looks like to partner with the Marcy Lab School as an employer, please reach out to Travis. Travis at marcylabschool.org, and Travis and his team will share all about what partnership with Marcy looks like and how you can benefit from hiring one of our incredible fellows. Be sure to share our message. We're 3 years old, and we would love your support amplifying our cause and the work that we're doing here. And lastly, you'll hear from us in a couple months as we celebrate the graduation of this incredible fellowship in March of 2023. So proud of you all. Thank you again for going over. And most importantly, thank you for the people who ensure that this program is tuition free for our fellows. This simply wouldn't be possible without you. We're incredibly grateful for your support. You all happy holidays.
Thank you so much to all of you who chimed in on this lunch hour. A moment of gratitude for all of you, people calling in from Ireland, all around the world to be with us today and celebrate this group. And a huge shout out to our Mahava and Akoba cohorts who are here with us as well today, about 4 months into their journey and their demo day coming up again this spring.
Awesome. Happy holidays, everyone.